seems like it does pretty well. I actually bought it to be a CW only rig. I was fortunate that the radio itself has all the about every option you can possibly have. Keyer built in 2 or 3 extra filters for sideband, an extra filter I think for CW, and another one for the 455 kilohertz filter, something like that. But anyway, I came across it for a couple $100 and thought I would just use it to try to get back into CW. And of course, I was lucky because it had the built-in keyer in it, so I just took my old Vibroplex paddle set and hooked it in and trying to make a New Year's resolution, Alan, to get about 5 CW QSOs a week. Over.
Well, it's a good plan. Good plan. You're doing fine. You're doing fine with it. Some people want to put a very fine point on it, but as long as I can understand what you're saying, I wouldn't get too worried about the audio. I think it's fine. I think it sounds fine. Ron, go ahead. KF3DJ, go ahead and give some words of wisdom to Robert. W3BB.
KF3DJ. Well, Robert, you're on the hand mic right now. Is that what you're on?
Roger, on the hand mic right now. Over.
Okay, well, you're bringing in a little bit of the room, and what I would suggest you do is take your mic gain down, maybe a click and a half. If it's on mic gain number 5 right now, take it down to about a 3. I'm not sure what setting you're on, but it needs to be turned down just a smidgen.
Roger. Okay, I turned it down. But I swear it seems like the AOC, when I look at the AOC, it just seems like...
Okay, I heard better, and that was it.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seems like I have little or no output right now, so I don't know what's going on here.
I think I lost him.
He needs it back up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No output.
Roger. Hello. Sounds like you know what's going on. Crazy. Okay, how about that? Does that sound okay?
Well, at least you're modulating now and putting out power before you drop way down.
Roger that. I had no power. I was trying to turn it back a click and a half. I guess I was on like about 2 on the gain and cut it back to about 12:30. Over.
Okay, well, you're up to S9 or better here, so it's a good solid signal.
And who was the other station? Was it KM3DJ or something? KJ4UX.
KJ4UX. It's Kilowatt Foxtrot 3, Delta Juliet. KF3DJ, okay?
W3BKR.
Yeah, I got that. Copied Kilowatt Juliet 3 Delta Juliet from KJ4UX. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It could be like you end up having a lot of times, gentlemen, if you have your radio set for the same setting all the time, and then you come back to it, it gets a little scratchy and you move a little bit one way or the other, and all of a sudden it kind of fades out. I don't know if you've ever fooled around with guitar amplifiers kind of the same way, that if you set it on like 3 and leave it on 3 for a long time, and you don't turn it, then you go to make a minor adjustment and it doesn't seem to do quite right. But anyway, yeah, I'm on a hand mic right now, and Kilowatt Foxtrot 3 Delta Juliet. Does this sound a little bit better? I did jack it down a little bit. Over.
Yes, it does. I'd leave it alone. We had another breaking station. Go ahead.
W3BKR, Whiskey 3, Bravo, Kilo Romeo, in South Carolina. The name is Fred Foxtrot, Roger Echo Delta, and he's sounding real good down here.
Roger, Fred. I think, give me that call sign again.
Whiskey 3, Bravo, Kilo Romeo.
Whiskey 3 Bravo Kilo Romeo from Kilo Juliet 4 Uniform X-ray over here. Yeah, I'm not too far from you, Fred. You are coming through like absolute gangbusters. You're, I don't know, at least 30 over, but I'm on unfortunately I'm an engineer by trade. I retired just a couple of years ago. It'll be 3 years in this coming April, but maybe like a lot of people, I dork with antennas more and try to squeak out that extra dB again, even though, Fred, I don't think it does me any good, over.
Yeah, you're right, Roger, you're right. I'm running a Yaesu FCDX 300 here, 3000 rather, about 200 watts, over.
Roger that. Well, you're just coming in like gangbusters, absolutely sounding really good here. In fact, everybody's sounding good, pretty good on the radio here. And again, I bought this radio on a whim, thinking it would be my CW rig, and I hate to say I spent like $15 on a microphone off of eBay, and I'm sure the audio sounds like a $15 microphone there.
It sounds real good here. Okay, well, we won't keep you. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm mainly CW. I've just gotten brave enough to get up on the band here. I'm an old-time CW operator, operated radio and radar in the Navy in a patrol plane, and 86 years old here. Over.
Roger. Well, congratulations on that career. Sounds like that'd be pretty exciting. Again, thank you for your service. I'm 67, like I said. I retired a couple years ago, and I was, let's see, I don't know what you call it, integrated circuit chip designer for IBM and Intel and a couple other guys along the way. So I made chips for Ethernet products, telephony products, T1, DS3, all those kind of things, and 40 gig Ethernet and all that. But yeah, like I say, I'm a double E by trade with emphasis in communications and microelectronics. So I spend more time probably, again, trying to eke that extra dB of gain out, which in reality probably doesn't matter. You know, I probably modeled using the 4NEC2 program. I don't know, probably 100 different antenna scenarios given the situation I have here. And I've got, I think, probably the best thing I can probably get there. Alan, go ahead. Maybe Alan QS wide there, Fred. So anyway, where did you say in South Carolina you located?
We're near Greenville, South Carolina. The W3 call is from Maryland, but since I got it when I was 15 years old, I'm kind of partial to it and don't want to change it.
Roger. Well, Fred, I just switched to a different antenna, so I don't know if that makes any difference on the signal. I have a 40-meter infrared half wave, but also I put in 80-meter infrared half wave, and right now I'm on the infrared half wave and inverted L configuration with about 12 radios on the ground there.
Oh my, you're 20 dB over down here, so nothing to worry about. Now, where are you located again?
I'm I have a Chapel Hill address, but if you look on the map, kind of west of Raleigh and Cary, North Carolina, I'm over here in Chatham County, right off of Jordan Lake. It's reservoir and recreational lake there.
Okay. Well, I hate we ran W3PV off because he was the one that started it all. Are you back on there, Alan? Nope, I guess we lost him.
He was talking to another gentleman, W8ROA, and they were going for a while there, and both of those guys were coming in like 30 plus over my QTH here, so I thought I'd try to give them a shot there. But anyway, Fred, like I said, I bought this radio for CW. I'll admit, Fred, that I had an amateur radio license before I could drive a car in the 1969, 70, 71 range there.
Oh great. Well, I did the same thing, but mine was in the 55. Give me your call and your name again. I did not write it down.
Roger, Fred. Call is Kilo Juliet 4 Uniform X-Ray. Kilo Juliet 4 Uniform X-Ray. And the name here is Robert. I don't know what it is. Romeo, Oscar, Bravo, Echo, Romeo, Tango. Over.
You're about like me. I break so much CW, I forgot my phonetic alphabet. Well, fine business on your work there. That sounds very exciting. I pastored in Tennessee, Virginia, and South Carolina for 40 years, and finally moved back down south to get away from the snow.
QSL on that, man. That's kind of crazy. In fact, my father-in-law came up a couple of years ago when he was 81, and we had a little bit dusting where we are, and he's from the Delta in Mississippi, and said, man, y'all just get too much snow. And of course, it's the kind of snow up here, which is great, Fred, because it kind of comes, looks nice for a day, and then usually the next day it's gone. That's the best kind of snow to have.
Yeah, that's the kind of snow I like. My QTH in Maryland was near Andrews Air Force Base, a little town called Clinton, Maryland, that nobody's ever heard of, but left there when I joined the Navy in 1956, and not been back. I have a sister that still lives there, but we enjoy it down south here, and having a good time. Okay, well, Robert, it's certainly good to meet you, and good luck on your microphones there, because they both sound very good. KJ4UX, W3BKR.
Hey, W3BKR. Again, this is on my 80 meter infrared half wave. Let me switch over to the 40 meter and see if that makes much difference here.
Roger.
All right, this is the 40 meter. Again, it's about the same height, maybe 25, 30 feet off the ground, not real high. But I'm hoping the inverted L 80 meter sounds a little bit better. Over.
Oh, it sounds good. You're just 1 dB and 1 S unit, I mean. So it really wasn't that much to write home about.
So I think you were saying the 1S unit on the inverted L. Over.
Roger.
Copy. Well, good news, fine business on that. And again, one thing I noticed here, Fred, is that during the day, the 40 meter infrared half wave dipole up, it seems a little bit better. But then as nighttime comes in, the verticals, which again more like an inverted L, seems to do a little bit better. And by the way, Fred, back in the day when I was a young man, I actually worked for the federal government for a few years and spent a lot of time on Air Force bases with communication systems, radar systems, and all that kind of jazz. It was a pretty exciting career starting out, but in 2.5 years, I was TDY at least 1 full year of that time.
Oh my, yeah, that gets old. That's why I joined the Air Navy, I guess. My dad was a 33.5-year Black Shoe Navy, and he just about disowned me when I joined the Air Navy. He said, why didn't you just join the Air Force and get it all over with? I'm running a vertical antenna. I'm HOA restriction here, unfortunately, so I was lucky enough to be able to hide a 27-foot antenna behind a 30-foot tree, and nobody said anything about it.
Roger, well, that vertical, man, it's doing a great job for you, great job. And by the way, is that a homebrew or a commercial? Over?
It's a 05. Have you heard of that?
I think I've heard of that. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on it on TV and stuff, and on YouTube rather. Does that thing have radio?
Yeah, I put 27 radios down. I'm sure that helps.
Roger, because again, the same thing as I live in the HOA community, and I have mine in the backyard. I basically ran a coax laying on the ground under some brush and stuff to a tall tree in the back, and then again I have a little antenna box down there, the transformer, and then it runs up at the vertical probably about 40 feet, and then it kind of comes down sloping to about 25 feet. So Not really a good vertical, not really a good flat top, but I guess it seems to work okay.
Yeah, Roger. Now, I have a long wire going from my back porch across the creek to a tree about 55 feet high, and I use that for 80 meters, and it works out real well.
Roger, Roger. That sounds good. In fact, the bad thing is, man, I had a decrease on my line when I built the house about 5 or 6 years ago. And of course, as the builders always do, they take it and bulldoze them all down and don't leave anything except some scraggy pines. And we get some high winds like we got today. In fact, those high winds are zipping my antenna outside around pretty good. So, wouldn't surprise me if I have some QSB on that. But anyway, yeah, I don't have quite enough radios down, but I'm just curious, what's the length of the radios you got there?
I think they're 27 feet. Another fellow, W1 DWJ, helped me with the radios, and he cut them, and all I did was help plant them. So I think they're about 27 feet.
Roger, Roger. That sounds good. I'm just experimenting. I know there's a guy, SK, I think his name was Cebik, C-E-B-I-K. You've probably seen some of his antenna articles and everything, and he was really big on the inverted L, whether you had it more vertical, straight up, and then a shorter flat top, or likewise vice versa. So I've been reading about that, putting radios down, and again, I think as his data was showing that, there's diminishing returns with the radios. When you get up, probably from 16 to 32, maybe not a whole lot of difference there, but like I said, I only got about 12, and if I was good, mine are only 16 and a half feet, so probably could put some ones that are a little bit longer down to see what that does for me.
Yeah, Roger. I don't remember how he figured it out, but he was better at it than I, and we put them down. He was the first one that had that 0.5 antenna, but he got the 33-foot job, and he did get a 80-meter coil or winding on that, so he can work 83 band, which I can't hear.
Roger, Roger. Fred, it sounds like somebody in the background. I don't know if that's just some QRM coming in or QSB from others, but was someone trying to break in?
No, there's another conversation taking place on the frequency.
Alan, is it you?
'Tis I. Yes, I stepped away while you guys were resolving the situation, and I'm back. W3 Bravo Victor.
Roger, Roger. Sorry, W3 Bravo Victor and the group KJ4UX. Anyway, but that sounds good. Anyway, we've just been talking about one of my favorite subject is, as always, antennas and that kind of fun stuff. And I've had a ton of inside antennas in my attic space. Again, I have an HOA restricted community, so I don't have much outside. But my attic space is probably about 30 feet by 50 feet wide by about 14 feet tall. And I've tried 100 different antennas in that space, and guess what? All of them have nothing but QRM and static, and just so much background noise with the RFI, they don't do any good.
Well, there's a tough problem to solve. It's oftentimes you can get. I think you guys are doing fine with your antenna systems. You're all above the S9 here in Midminster, Pennsylvania this afternoon, and Q5, and I do feel for you if you're in a restricted situation. That's a tough deal. W3BV. And there is a very long conversation on frequency that started up after we were here.
W3BZ, W3BKR.
Is working DX. So I guess they really can't hear us. Not sure what the problem is.
Well, Alan, what level are they coming in on you?
Pardon me, give me that again?
I was just saying, the guys in the background, are they what level